The following video contains discussion of sexual violence, including harassment and assault. Viewer discretion is advised.
The reasons why they don't report this, some of them don't know where to go. Some, they depend on their jobs to feed their families. So they're afraid to get deported as well because they don't know their rights. They feel like, okay, if I report this, police is going to get involved. They're going to ask for documents. So it's very important for the people to know the reasons why, and also their culture, right? Has a lot to do with them reporting this. But in the 70 and 80%, that it could be family, people they know, but co-workers fall into that as well. And why is that? Because they know their every move at work. They know if they're undocumented, they know where they live. So most of the cases that I have received or helped, this is what comments I get from the ladies. Well, I didn't know where to go, or I might lose my job, or this is all I have, or maybe my husband is going to find out that I was sexually harassed or sexually assaulted, and he's going to leave, right? So yeah, it's very important for people to know their reasons, right? The communities to know this information as well, so they can understand these women when they hear this things happening to them.
The issue on sexual harassment, the issue on harassment and rape has been an issue since many years, and we have been just involved since the beginning, because even though publicly we were not engaging the same way than engaging within internal. Internally, the women were more, have been more open, and this is, throughout the years, through Líderes, Campesinas, the movimiento, and how, now within Alianza, the topic, it's not that the women feel more comfortable, because no one feels comfortable talking about, what has happened to you, but the women feel more relaxed in terms of being able to share, understanding that they do not, and they are not to be blamed.
Well, first of all, they need to know the procedure of a rape or a sexual assault. But as a clinic, they need to have resources where a person could go report if it's just a sexual assault or it was just sexual harassment. They need to know how far they could question them, because again, some of the nurses might be certified to interview this person, this victim, and they go into a crisis. Every single thing that happened to that person that day needs to be documented, because that report that the Sartners gives to law enforcement, and when law enforcement come in, because that's another thing that we could talk about later, but just like law enforcement need to ask so many questions and they need to answer everything, it's very important for a nurse or the hospitals to have a translator, because every detail that they give is very important that goes into that report. So if this case of this lady, I would have not said anything, I don't think that report would have a lot of information.
There's a lot of like sayings that you would say in Spanish. You would say, no son solamente chistes, they're more like, ¿cómo se llama? Dichos, ¿no? One of them is still very used. El hombre llega hasta donde la mujer quiere. Excuse me? That's not true. That is not true. It doesn't matter the age you are. You know when you don't feel okay. You know when you don't feel that you feel that that's not right. But you feel trapped, you feel powerless, you feel like there isn't anything and you feel like you're in a different kind of world and you don't know how to get out of it. Okay. And that still exists because the resources that are given to our organizations that are community-based are, prevention was not necessarily an area that the government or even funders were looking forward to investing in. what is happening lately is that because we've been talking more about, all these traumas that you have lived from where you come from, or where you are, or the kind of working conditions that you are in. And we're talking about rape in the fields or harassment in the fields. It had been seen by many. That's normal. I'm talking about the late 80s. We needed to refer women on sexual assault and harassment. And there was a lot of like clashes, not necessarily that the centers didn't want to help, is that they wanted to help, but they were not ready. They were not, culturally responsive. And that has evolved in a good way. 8 years ago, we were able to convince the state to also help us, ask the centers, whomever was getting funding from them, to also require them to get MOUs with organizations like ours. And that changed a lot of things, where now, instead of us having to be, following them and trying to convince them how important it is to collaborate, blah, blah, blah. And the MOU is very simple. It's how we, as campesinas, should be learning what their protocol is and how they work. And us, it's kind of like them providing orientation and training for us, but us also doing the same thing for them.
And we still need to be, that needs to be done, and give more information and education to the community, because like I said, to this day, we still have a lot of women not knowing the differences. So that's something that I put on my list to do, that things that we need to be doing more, like not stopping giving information about sexual and abuse. Continue giving them year round, not just focus on 1 month of abuse, awareness of abuse and sexual abuse. No, it happens every single day. Trust me, I get phone calls from the hotline all the time. And a lot of these women, they don't even want to go to the hospitals, right? So what needs to be done is not stop giving information, keep on giving educational meetings or presentations, give out information so people could see that this goes on every single day.
The resources that we have found is that it depends on where you go, but there's very good crisis centers and very good shelters in certain communities in California, and our member organizations are opening the kind of doors with them and trying to collaborate and building that trust, and making sure that they understand that we are a resource for them. And it's more about, engaging as the same way we engage the Farmworker women to do whatever they feel needs to change. Then we do the same thing with the agencies, but we go not only with the advocates that they try their best to do the best, but they need the support from the management. They need the support from people and it got to the point with Alianza. I don't know if you knew, but Alianza had not all our organizations were led by women, and now all of them are led by women within Alianza. The men were very supportive, but when you get women involved, it's 100%. It's 100%.
Well, first of all, if it's it depends on the case. If it was just sexual harassment, we want to give them the resources of where to go and get the assistance and do follow-ups, because here with Líderes, we just don't refer someone. We like to keep in touch with them. We do we do follow-ups, but we also help them, with other things. If they need to do a police report, we want to make sure that they know they could go to the police station, which we will go with them. We don't leave them alone. If they need to go to counseling, every chapter that we have, which we're 17, we all have a list of local areas where we could send these women. We give them all these resources there. And if it was a rape case, then it's a different thing. We also we go to court with them, we go to the police station, we go to the hospitals, we give them the resources, but we let them know as well their rights,